Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, so you never miss any video from my channel.
When people come to the ashram, when they come full-time or they come to do certain sadhanas, we don't tell them why. Only now in the last few years we started talking about it, otherwise all these years we never spoke about it. Somebody comes, I always give them a copper ring to wear. They cannot remove it, must always be there on their finger, on their left hand, ring finger. Why this is, when they do very intense sadhanas, you know what's a samadhi? Samadhi means sama and di. Sama means equanimous, di means buddhi, equanimous state of intellect. When intellect becomes equanimous, there is no duality. When there is no duality, when you don't know which is me and which is you, now your life energies do not know where to be, so they may go anywhere. So the point of contact with the body becomes less and less. It can be brought down to a point where your point of contact with the body is just one-pointed. When somebody becomes one-pointed contact, we say nirvikalpa samadhi. If a person is in this state, if I just do this, he will leave the body for good. Even a pinprick is enough. Just prick him with the pin, he will leave the body. He will be in such a fragile state. His contact with the body is so minimal, he is elsewhere already. But just one-point contact with the body, this is known as samadhi. When people are in such states, we keep them in protected atmospheres, very, very tightly protected atmospheres. Nobody is allowed to go there except a few people who are prepared for such situations. But when we do certain work, one of the things was the consecration of Dhyanalinga. We were required to be, people who were involved were required to be in such states of samadhi, but at the same time they were required to be intensely active, which is very risky. People can very easily leave the body. One moment of unawareness, they can leave the body and they may not be sometimes able to regain the body. So certain precautions were taken, everything was done, but when it was coming to a close, certain situations happened which we had to face in so many ways. And I had always set my life in such a way, once the lingam consecration is over, I will leave. I had planned my life that way, everything was settled that way, all preparations were made for me to leave. But because of certain situations, certain changes that happened in the situation, we made efforts to recover the body. In the process of consecrating the lingam, I used my body and my energies so blatantly. Those who have seen me before, or if you see my pictures, you will see in just about 8 to 9 months, I aged almost 25 to 30 years. You will see my pictures. In 8 months' time, I have aged almost 25–30 years. Because we used the system so blatantly. Because I never planned to live beyond that, I had my body completely ruined by the time I finished the consecration. You should see my medical reports, my blood work and other CAT scans and other things. Every day doctors were, diagnosing me with some bizarre disease which is no way to recover or something like that. I have not been through any treatment. In the last 4 years, we have been working on the system. Today it's much better. Accordingly, my activity is increasing. I have not been inactive, I have been constantly active these 4 years, but it was quite something to keep the body going. But now it's so much better, it's not 100% yet. It's still on some kind of support system, but it is so much better, it's recovered. So metal, if you have metal on your body, you will not leave the body accidentally. So that's why the ring is always put on people who are doing intense sadhanas. Unknowingly they may leave the body. So people were afraid that I will leave and they put a shackle on me.